lost a goose in a horse race. And the old boy would sit up a couple nights a week, Friday and Saturday night, these gamblers, they'd gamble till the wee hours in the morning, which in those days was about 11 o'clock at night. At about 11 o'clock at night one night, they get their cash and their chips, you know, and go on home. And about that time, one of the older gamblers there, a fellow up in his 60s, said, boy, I sure could use a cup of coffee this time of night. And nothing way to get a cup of coffee this time of night. Of course, it wasn't back in those days. Most people went to bed at 9 o'clock back in those days. And this young gambler said, well, you come on to my apartment and my wife will get up and fix a cup of coffee. He said, boy, you're crazy. There ain't no woman in the world get up at midnight to fix a fella a cup of coffee. He said, my wife will. He said, she will? He said, yes. What kind of wife is she anyway, man? He said, well, she's a Christian. And the old fellow said, well, I never heard of that before, but it's worth going to see. So he got up and went to the apartment house. And they got to the apartment house, got there about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. He went over and banged the bedroom door and said, wife, get up and get us some coffee and don't take all night about it. Came back and sat down on the sofa. The old man sat down next to him and he said, that's a funny kind of wife you've got if she'd do anything like that. He said, yeah, she's a Christian. And the old man said, what's a Christian? He said, oh, she goes talking about heaven and hell, you know, and talking about being going to hell when I die, and about Christ dying for sinners and all that kind of thing. The old man said, boy, I can't imagine living with a woman like that. He said, well, you don't know how hard it is, man. It's really a trial. And the woman comes in and put the coffee down on the table about 1:45 and started out the door, and the young fellow winked at the old man, you know, watch this. And he knocked the coffee off the table. This stuff is cold as blankety blank. Get some more and get it quick. And she picked the stuff up, went back in the kitchen and fixed the coffee. And the old man said, would you tell me something? He said, how in the world would a good Christian woman like that live with a devil like you are? And the young fellow said, I don't know, beats fire to me. I thought about it myself sometimes. Said she liked to drive me crazy. Said all this stuff about being born again and stuff like to drive me crazy. And the old man said, I couldn't live with a woman like that. And said, if I lived with a woman like that, I'd just stay drunk. I'd blow my brains out one. And she came back in, put it on the table. She started back out again. About that time, the older man said, young lady, can I ask you a question? And she said, turned around and said, yes. And he said, would you tell me how a good, sweet Christian woman like you could stay married to a devil like you got for a husband? And she drew herself up to her full height, you know, in that night robe, and she said, well, she said, I love him. She said, I've been praying for him for years, and I want him saved. And he's not going to get saved. He won't listen to me. And I prayed for him and prayed for him and prayed for him. He won't get saved. And she said, you know something? She said, someday he's going to die and go out into hell. And when he gets out in hell, he's going to be tormented. He's going to be crying for water, and he'll never be happy again. So she said, I'm trying to make him just happy as I can while he's here. Amen. Walked out the door. That old man turned to that young man and said, boy, said, man, if I was you, I'd get saved. Want to blow my brains out. And the young fellow said, I think you're right. I've been thinking about it pretty seriously lately. And he said, honey, would you come back in? She came back and he said, I'm tired of this mess. I want to get saved. Down he got his knees and got saved. Folks say, well, that's a very unusual situation, Ruckman. Yeah, I know it is. God's woman's a very unusual woman. Because that's a very dramatic type of thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You say, well, I don't think a thing like it happened very much. Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't happen very much. You say, why is that? Because most women, they might want to be somebody's woman, but they're not worried about being God's woman.